Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another video in relation to roster sharing. This feature has been in the game for less than a week, and what a week it has been. Now, first and foremost, for those of you who have downloaded the initial version of the roster editing spectacular, as we've called it in the past, I thank you very much. Again, for those on Series S and X, don't just support what I do, support someone like Tactics, support someone like Snipe and Score as well. Of course, I had the rundown of Snipe's roster as well. And hell, again, those are just friends of mine. There are other people out here who have updates as well. Check them all out, support this feature. Whether or not you're on the Series S or X or not, there are, of course, roster files that are out there for your console of choice. And hopefully, yes, in the future, we will eventually have proper cross-gen support, and then it won't matter what console you're on. But thank you very much for that. And of course, the reaction to that initial video was as interesting as I thought it would be. There are a lot of people who are quite happy with what I put out there. There are other people, of course, who aren't, and that's all well and good. I've talked about it, and I talked about it in those videos that I put out. The idea of assigning a potential or an overall, it's always going to be divisive. It's always going to be subjective. There's no perfect way to do it. And I knew, of course, when I had players with 99 overall deking or whatever the hell, that a lot of people would question the process. And it's all well and good. For those of you that decided to take up the banner for me and be like, no, you're dumb, and watch this, it explains it. Hey, I thank you for that. But it's nothing that I didn't expect. That said, in that update, along with the roster editing update, of course, EA put out a new slider within the whole create a player category. So it really kind of forced the issue for me to upload this video and to update my rosters sooner than I kind of planned. I wanted to take at least a little bit more than a week off, and I got less than that. So at the end of the day, with this roster update, version 2, and we'll go over all of the changes here, maybe not all of them, but we'll go over the changes. Version 2 is out now on the Series S and Series X. And somebody already downloaded it. Jesus, I literally just put this out there and up before I record, and someone already found it. Well, good for them at least. But as you can see in the description there, we have the updated transactions as of December 14th. We have also updated quite a few overalls, potentials, and abilities, and I have added in new prospects on top of, again, fixing the sliders for the created players. And we can go over some of these really quickly. So goalie-wise, there wouldn't have been a ton, but we've added someone like Drew Commesso of the Chicago Blackhawks, also probably the Team USA starter in the World Juniors this year. Also adding Petr Kochetkov for the Carolina Hurricanes in goal. And there's a lot of different skaters that we've added in as well. But one of the big changes that I decided to make is somewhat related to the feedback. I was uncertain if I wanted to handle this way, but the feedback kind of brought it home. I decided to have only really high skill-based X factors, whether offensively or defensively. So, for example, we don't have as many gold truculence players anymore. I took off Ice Pack and truculence as a gold and at least downgraded it to a silver. And on top of that, we also have an example now of kind of setting the bar a little bit higher, which is something that I thought that I wanted to do. And after kind of seeing the feedback and seeing how the Penguins franchise, which of course is still being uploaded, has played out, I decided that really only medium elite prospects are going to get golds. Aside from that, everyone medium 6, medium 4, high 6, high 4, they're still going to be at silver until they prove it at the NHL level. So that's one of the big changes, or really the big changes in relation to abilities. And I've done that for everybody. Created players, real players, I mean the real players, of course, prospects, everybody has been readjusted. But you have some of the new prospects that have added Antetoy Misto, Alex Vlasic. Again, there are basically every single player. I mean, there are a ton of new guys, but basically every single player that's been drafted in the first or second round is now in. Next update, I'll try to get all the third round picks in, but obviously it's a lot to add. I'd probably have the third round picks in by now had I not had to readjust a bunch of stuff. And yes, there are certain prospects that have been in the game before that EA had to take out last year, and when I started the editing process, they weren't back in the game yet. Krasnonas of the Portland Winterhawks is the perfect example for that. So we have a bunch of new prospects in the game. Like I said, the first 2 rounds of the past couple of years all represented now in the created players list. And like I said, on top of that too, I have changed quite a bit. I'm not going to go through every single setup to the NHL and the AHL. I'll leave you guys to be able to do that. But again, not just in that way. Like Hampus Lindholm, we have updated information as the season goes on. Like when I did this process the first time, you got to figure most NHL teams were somewhere between like 15 and 20 games played. And we're now at the point, I'm actually going to go look at the standings. We're now at the point where a lot of teams are between 20 and 30. I mean, something like the Toronto Maple Leafs or Anaheim Ducks do have 30 games played, Vancouver as well. So updated information is there and fully represented. A lot of goaltenders got some work. And again, some people might agree or disagree with those ratings. And again, that's all well and good. Like I've said in that first video, you might disagree with the way it's implemented. You might disagree with the guideline, but it's better, in my opinion, to have a guideline to remove essentially all personal bias that I might have or that you might have. I'm not saying Trevor Zegras probably isn't worthy of higher than a 79 overall. I'd probably put him at an 81, 82 by now, but you got to figure within franchise mode, he'll reach that by the end of season 1, and he's a 79 overall medium elite 20-year-old player with a gold X factor. Let's not pretend like he's not going to be absolutely disgusting within franchise mode. He absolutely will be, and he'll be disgusting to use already within the game. I mean, again, these rosters are designed for both franchise mode and gameplay. I think it'll make the gameplay a hell of a lot more fun. I stand by that off of the test runs that I've had. So a lot of teams, I mean, Jesus, Shane Gostisbehere, because of the start that he's had, he's gone up by 1, which is kind of crazy. Dyson Mayo is someone that gets a big upgrade. He's actually been pretty good for the Coyotes, even though that team is historically bad. And then again, goaltending-wise, you also get certain upgrades, certain downgrades. Again, keep in mind it's a 3-year scale as well. But yeah, there will be stuff that you disagree with. That's all well and good. I don't care. I don't care at the end of the day. Like, one of the big complaints was, how is Charlie McAvoy a 95 like Connor McDavid? And it's like, yes, because clearly Charlie McAvoy has the same attributes and skill set as Connor McDavid. Again, the big reason for that, number one, is the way that we implement the analytics that are out there. But secondly, of course, I only have the rating scale go up to a 95. And I've talked about that. Now, why do I have the rating scale only go up to a 95? Oh, also, shout out to the person that's like, oh man, how is Taylor Hall so bad when Taylor Hall's been struggling to score goals for the Bruins? The reason why is because my rating scale only goes up to a 95. If I want Connor McDavid, and I think I showcased this in the last video, but I'll showcase it again. If I want Connor McDavid to be a 97, that defensive awareness gets to be boosted up to an 88 minimum. If I want Connor McDavid to be a 99, he basically has to have 96 defensive awareness. No. Just no. That's why 95 is the cap. I mean, again, you could even argue Connor McDavid at an 80 defensive awareness is a little bit much. And you look at the attributes that are out there, what else are you going to boost up? The body checking, the defensive awareness. That's why we had the 99s. And yes, I changed Connor from Born Leader back over to Wheels. I wanted to test out Born Leader to see how that would work. So, again, there's a lot that I could sit here and talk about and discuss. I will mention as well with the likes of the Red Wings, someone like Lucas Raymond's been updated. Moritz Seider was slightly downgraded from a franchise, but he's still an 86 at 20 years old. He's absolutely gross, but obviously for someone like Seider or Raymond, the numbers will be updated a little bit more frequently throughout the season, whereas for some people where they do have the effect of that full 3-year scale, then yeah, they're just kind of there. But both Barkov and Huberdeau got upgrades for the Florida Panthers. Aaron Ekblad got an upgrade as well. And again, I know there's some people who are like, really? Mackenzie Weegar's a 94, Devon Taves 94. Look, they're both great. Period. And I get the idea of like, oh, well, what if they ask for $10 million? And I've talked about that. Unrealistic contracts already happen within franchise on EA's rating scale. I would rather have it be a closer representation of how good someone is than drop them down because, well, they only make $4 million, so the real life situation, people must not think they're that good. Like, it is what it is. These rosters won't be for everybody. I've talked about that. But for those really trying to poke holes in the logic, you're failing. And that's the one shot that I'll take at the very least. But yeah, like I said, a lot's been updated. I think the main reason why I dropped Truculence is you'll notice here with the Winnipeg Jets defense, Neil Pionk would have had gold Truculence. Nate Schmidt would have, I think, had gold Ice Pack. DeMello keeps where he's at. Josh Morrissey would have had gold Truculence. Brendan Dillon would have had gold Truculence. Nathan Beaulieu would have had gold Truculence. Logan Stanley would have had gold Truculence. It was a little bit too much in that regard. And while I stand by the way franchise mode plays out, or the gameplay would play out with a lot of people having gold Truculence, I think this is a change for the better. All things considered. But yeah, like I said, if there's anything you want to know, hey, I can let you know in the comments. But for the most part, I don't really feel like going over the full rosters. But you got the gist of it. We've updated overalls, we've updated potentials, we've changed some things with the player abilities that were out there. Again, keep in mind here as well, the Vegas Golden Knights, of course, we had to change up some of the things about their salary. Like Riley Smith gets paid nothing to make sure that they're cap compliant. Thanks, Jack Eichel, for coming back sooner. Granted, he's not fully back yet, but that'll be a problem the Golden Knights run into in real life. Just in general, a full update kind of on what we had already established. And again, a lot of stuff will continue to change throughout the year. It is December. And barring certain issues that prevent the NHL from playing, which could happen, let's be honest, we will continue to update things as we go along. So one more time, updated everything is the way to go. And again, the file that is out there on the Series S or the Series X is under, man, there we go. We got a couple more without me even announcing it. Again, Tugi, TTV, or YouTube TTV, version 2, because they won't let us put numbers. Yeah, hey, check it out and let me know what you think. Thank you guys for watching. As per usual, I will mention this video is going up on Wednesday the 15th, as you can see the date uploaded here. This Saturday, September 18th, doing a charity stream on Twitch as well. I'll have a video out about that by the end of today, so make sure to check that out. We're going to have a lot of interesting prizes up for grabs, and if we hit our peak milestone, I might finally do something that a lot of people had wanted me to do for a long time. How's that for a tease? As well, in case you're unfamiliar, the second channel's out there, of course, that is TWOGIE, Tugi 24. Where again we upload Madden, FIFA, all the non-hockey stuff that I end up playing. I'll hopefully be able to get back into playing a lot more of those games now that roster sharing is here and I'm pretty much done with the nose to the grindstone part of the process. And of course, the Tuki's Take podcast is out there. You can listen to it on Spotify, Apple Music, Google, everywhere you listen to podcasts. And the YouTube channel is there as well if you want to watch it in video form. We have shows every Monday and Thursday talking about everything in the hockey world. I will see you all again very, very soon. Again, thank you for the support so far. It is greatly appreciated. Check out this new version and let me know what you think.